Meti, I think Jude Abuapa with explanations into Myanmar is see over the last few games I bought from the beginning, right from Mexico and South Africa match on boy. And I think remember just a few comments answering Drew Morocco and Brazil game because I a very tough one for today. I was say Yesheni Pam. But Gabi, I think so far so good. Ubisamia, I'll tell you that the competition, yes, I mean there's no tournament without its own controversies.
Okay.
And I am say at this particular time, no, one would have said say US for the a yard also too much because even from the African contingent, most of the African teams or fans cannot travel from their respective home countries.
Based on the match, once they say no, you be no so different.
Okay.
Couple with other stories. So with the any match in on common now, you are by January no so.
Mate, but say Mexico any South Africa match on boy, you know, the biggest talking point was the red card say BM.
Okay.
We and free I think the goals that were scored on the day and also the performance of South Africa no, and I say Ateki center stage. I'll start from South Africa now you do red card no home come on. Say Gabi, it's been 30 years since South Africa. Omo 1996 after now omo winning you know that was in their own backyard. And Obisa, that crop or that generation of players said 30 years down the line, would they have seen Bafana decline to this point? They would have said no. Why? Because at that point, no, it was from strength to strength. Omuti Mamobo 96, no. When you look at how they really set the team up very well to succeed and do so well at the highest level now, they would have said by 30 years there, na Nyama Kosho. But Gabi, what are we seeing about South Africa? They have about 7 players or some match no, against Mexico no, playing within the South African League. They had 2 markers in front in Ikram Reynes and Lau Foster. But the whole game, they looked very toothless, they looked very lost. And now, Omunya red card, Spepele Sitole, and now, Zwane. And you ask yourself, say, what kind of approach did South Africa go into the game with? Did they go in there with a mindset, say, or so winning, and now say they just went to add up to the numbers? I would say they went to add up to the numbers. Because right from the start of the game, they didn't look like they were in to achieve anything. And Osheku Bruce, or your coach, you would have expected that during the game, when things were not going well, Obe sorry, and give some instructions, but he looked very relaxed. And that was exactly how they ended up, losing the game abysmally. But Osha red cards now, the entire tournament in 2018, Gabi, had only 4 red cards. Russia 2018, only 4 red cards, the entire tournament. Look at Qatar 2022, only 4 red cards, the entire tournament. Matches. Then 2026 FIFA World Cup comes around, first game, 3 red cards, 2 to South Africa, 1 to Mexico. Gabi, this is a cause for concern. But one thing I realized was that if the referee Sampaio or in the first game is anything to go by the let's just say in this particular tournament, we are going to see a lot of cards. Because if you make a challenge and you expect say be a referee, obeying a near free, so and I say uncle check over aswa, and then you are mistaken. And no be na mistaken identity who in the game between USA and the Paraguay. Every single event that happens on the pitch will be checked. So you don't expect a World Cup where we are just going to see things pass by and then referees will not be prompted to go and check some of those things. And I think the referee, those calls, he got it right.
Okay.
Maybe Mexico for there, there will be a little controversy over there. But I think Ejuman on that day, and that was exactly what he did. Now, Quinones go no, I think per the carelessness of South Africa, that was what was going to happen. But the biggest highlight, Raul Jimenez. And maybe some kind of story in 10 times so then we move on. Raul Jimenez, answer now about World Cup way. Now about Brazil 2014. About Russia 2018. And I was about Qatar 2022. No one share go back for Mexico.
On one case, your friend in national team 2013. 13. And your friend national team.
So that be from 2013 to 2022.
Yeah.
Raul Jimenez had never scored a goal.
World Cup goal.
A World Cup goal.
Yeah.
For Mexico. Then on the opening day, right in front of your own fans, at the Estadio Azteca, share that goal, none other than a header. I was saying in Kofutimiti the story na see ye. In Kofobekaya, there was a game that was I think 5 or 6 years ago in the Premier League Obra no obo Fulham no, obo Wolves rather. Amone Arsenal boy ya on David Luiz a clashing with him. And he had a fracture to his skull. It took him close to over a year. And son was back. Now when he came back, he wasn't himself. It took a while before we saw Raul Jimenez play the kind of football that we know him to play. That be just a few months ago before the World Cup started. He lost his dad. And it was a pancreatic cancer in the kunu. So at this time to score this goal of this nature in front of your home crowd, while Mexico hosted tournament, you could tell that the emotions that came out of the day were just natural. Because to go through all this pain and then to crown it with such a glorious moment, I think Raul Jimenez, you'll be very happy about it.
Okay.
And obey dedicated goal now, papa. So it was a 360, kind of full circle moment for Mexico team, to win that game. And I really think, even when you look at the statistics, Gabby, I really feel that the game itself, Mexico they were on second gear. They caught third or fourth gear, South Africa because it was capitalizing on the poor display by South Africa that got Mexico the goal, because Ushe possession now 60-40. Look at expected goals 1.462, South Africa 0.07. Total shots on the day, Mexico 16, South Africa 3, shots on target 4, South Africa 2. So they were bombarded on every side. And I think Hugo Bruce one year, South Africa will get a first round exit. And that will be the end of the story for them at this World Cup. Gabi, we saw how South Korea and so it came very strong in this game against Czechia, coming from a goal down to win by 2-1. Now, share and the second goal now share from Imbiom. No, according to Opta, they played 25 passes. They strung 25 passes together before they put that ball at the back of the net, which was a personal record almost set here on the day. Until I think says South Korea, the kind of pace that they inject into their game, they are a team that we must watch very carefully, because they could come and shock and make a surprise. Into Group A, attacking shape. You see Mexico there, you see Korea there, Czechia and the Republic of South Africa. If this is anything to go by the time on the ball Group A games there, now Mexico, any Korea and Omanim, then maybe a Czechia or born whom didn't even some 3 points beer. Maybe Otimisha South Africa be 3 points. No, they will see how they can also qualify to the next stage as one of the best third place teams. And Imbiom, no, I mean, Gabi, this guy is very good. I won't be shocked, say by the time the tournament is over, one of the teams in Europe, and he may have a story like Heung-min Son. And when I see the Asians play, sometimes that is the kind of signal I get. So once we get 1 star from Asia, or we get 1 star from maybe South Korea, Sana, they make a case for themselves at the highest stage, and then a team in Europe comes to take them, and then they begin to shine, and then they will also begin to make, their country, very proud. And I think, Imbiom now was here year, and now we saw how USA and so share Paraguay 4-1. Now the biggest talking point, Brantia Feno. Folarin Balogun, was 2 goals. He has scored a brace in terms of highest goal scorers. No, at this point, he's the one who is considered to have that statistic. But Gabi, I was very impressed with USA 4 team, no, because aside the fact, they managed to score 4-1, which for the first time they have done. Gabi, the performance on the night was a sharp difference from what we saw USA in their qualifying and also in their friendly matches on Moboye. So Bekaya, Pochettino, Obeji, USA, they hadn't scored any European opponent.
Yeah.
So that was something that was hanging on them. But Paraguay, they were a local opponent in the same region. So the kind of performance they put on the day, playing in front of your home fans and knowing that you are hosting a tournament, you cannot disappoint on the opening day. And they nailed it, and they nailed it so well. Folarin Balogun, Gabi, they have to watch him very carefully. I know too much. I know and he's also one guy who I think by the time the tournament is over, one of the big teams in Europe will be chasing him. Sanye England, it could be Spain, it could be Germany. We will see a big team looking for him to sign him. That was a very good game from USA. When you look at the statistics, everything tilts into their favor. Possession, expected goals, total shots, about 16. Paraguay 4-9, shots on target 6-1. So it was a total dominance from USA, and I think they did so well over there. Omaya Diepa and the game, no. And I was here now, Gabi, the controversies around Brazil national team, no, is not so good an optic for them going into this game. Because if now it has been declared say Neymar ain't fit and Ontimi all the 3 group games on in this tournament, one would have asked say why is Neymar in the team? Is it because we just want to court a national unity behind the team? Is it we want to get the support of the people behind the team? Or we know genuinely say you're crossing group stage now you call the next rounder Neymar will come and play? And I get the context. I'm for Bebre Ekase. In national team football, you need to send players who are fit and are ready to play. Ube situated that same context. Ewa Ghana mua. Yabeka se ada in a player and we pra. Yadene ka squad who to go and play a tournament. Inti enuna beye question sir. Eda Brazil for national team niswa. Omode kobo Morocco game way and it's not so good for them because yes those controversies will be there. Omu nim na omu kolusu sa game na. That will become the talk of town. Said the name Akobo, name another ye didn't call Joao Pedro Tifie, Joao Pedro Betimiabo, and ye didn't name Akoya Chinchina as your Kobo. Now he will not be available. But if you ask me, I think people like Vinicius Jr. they will become very critical factors in this game because they need to step up and give Brazil the result they need on the day. And Morocco, no, on your mean opponent, in the last tournament they were in the semi-finals. Until all buy into this game, no, they are not coming to just come and be passengers. They are coming as Africa's lead representative, so to speak, because although say omo case no, omo Senegal case no court of arbitration for sport no, at this point the current African champions is regarded as Morocco. And even class omo call final, so of course stage no mu do ya answer no omo dey ba ha on top. So Brazil need to be very careful. Say optics now at that omo team so at this point no doesn't become amplified if their performance against Morocco doesn't go the way they expect. But Gabi uye no free one now. Their other group opponents are Scotland and Haiti. And Brazil beshe Haiti or beshe Scotland. And yes, me share the besi war and America. But when you look at the pedigree of the team Brazil, when they come up against Haiti, there's very little Haiti can do. Brazil beshe omo. Same as Scotland. So one would have asked me, say, what do I expect to see in the game against Morocco? A very, very tight game. When you look at Morocco as well, Achraf Hakimi, star player. A lot of eyes will be on him as well. Gabi, by the time the match is over, and Shani Yehu will be to say draw. This game has a draw written all over it, in my opinion.
Okay.
But look at the potential lineups for the two teams. Brazil and Shadi will set up in a 4-2-3-1. Or Gabriel Magalhaes and Marquinhos in the center of defense. In Tiahodie, at least the defensive solidity is there. Shenfifi Gumarais as a destroyer. Casemiro. Look at even the wide areas, Rafinha and Vinicius. So in terms of pace and intensity, they have it. Then Matheus Cunha leading the line with Paquetá right behind him. Gabi, this is a very difficult team to beat. Now for Morocco, honestly line up Ansha or the Beba match team. They have Achraf Hakimi there. I've already spoken about him. Mazraoui. At least these two in defense. No, you know that Morocco, they have something that they want to represent on the picture. Eye ahoɔden ball on bebo. Train finfin ho. Neshe wide areas ni Brahim Diaz. We already know how impressive his performance has been at Real Madrid.
And that guy Onahi.
It was anyone who ye Gabi. He's one guy who is very, very expressive on the pitch. And Ocean the ball bona effort. So whilst a lot of eyes will be on Brahim Diaz, Achraf Hakimi, he is also one guy who is in the setup, who can spring a surprise at any point in the game. Now we have Saibari, so our original lead attack, not only leading line now, Gabi. Like I said, this game has a draw written all over it. But I mean, it is something that we all want to watch. Okay. It's by 10 o'clock. And then, of course, Qatar and Switzerland, Bebo, the first game for the day. Answer the numero. Yeah.
I remember some interesting idea. Now, Brazil and Morocco are copy group. And at the same group also Scotland in Zoom.
Yeah.
Gabi. And the Morocco are careful.
It's Morocco are careful.
All the careful. My remember funny history KTTV. Gabi, 1998 World Cup home. More than Brazil group. It was Brazil, Morocco, Scotland. Norway pen about the shares our group. Now Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Norway. Gabi, more than any cancel we see. Brazil first match was against Morocco. Now Branty and friend Hada no mu kra hada Mustafa Haji Nuruddin Nebet ti hada ehuri oso Ronaldo ekon ha ama referee penalty ekwa ye hu penalty no until later ni hu say sana penalty unim say Brazil says Morocco wie 1-0 no omo wie no and omo ni Norway boy and omo ball draw against Norway omo final game was against Scotland now at that omo ni Scotland airborne no Saturday no na Brazil nsere Norway airborne Jonda Thomas mutim no Brazil so free tete ontimi Norway munim ade asi game here concurrent ye poor game no na Morocco ehia goals to qualify
okay
omonim so omo se goals wie na se final game no Norway so Brazil ese nowhere ono Morocco na qualify ye ball game ni wie no na Morocco assess Scotland 3 or 4 goals but onim be see Norway ese Brazil and Norway and Brazil qualify ahead of because Brazilians had already secured qualification so our last game was against Norway and tiamro omo ni Norway airborne Samuel na Scotland and so Morocco airborne and Morocco says Scotland either 3 or 4 to omo poor game no start so omo jubilate had am jubilate no omo pressure no sana Norway and Brazil and I qualified because finally Norway accept Brazil and no crown Brazil sana 98 World Cup jam it's our group no history kakre wo no 78 it was Brazil Scotland Morocco and Norway
okay
and any ababa benya Brazil Scotland Morocco biom Norway na nsim
yeah ntwa dwumade so na fifi so emfa yen rem kakra na